What's up, you temperate Tide League
Wow.
testicles? I'm
Actually,
Double
the
Battery
name,
Rush. I'm Double Battery Rush with Coyote Slicer and a whale, WhaleShark, and soon to be Collision in this VC. Just for the next episode. I believe this is episode 3. I can't really, or episode
It's
4.
four.
I
It's
can't
four.
really
It's
keep
four.
track. Of TideCast. I am your host, as always, Double Battery Rush. Again, joined by my lovely co-host Coyote, Whale, and Collision.
He's coming.
Say hi,
Don't worry.
guys.
Collision's not
Well,
here.
Collision's
Hi.
coming, but
Hi, everyone.
that's Coyote.
All
That's
right.
my Twitch.
First thing I kind of wanted to do is talk about the week. We had some pretty good games. 3 4v4s. That was pretty impressive.
In review, and actually, this was quite an important.
I didn't come to any of them because I couldn't. I'm very sorry for that. But I will
It's
be here
alright.
for
He's
the
gonna live,
divisionals,
so.
and then everything will be done by the game
Yeah.
admins for the finals and stuff. I won't be here for that.
Hi, War.
All right,
Hello.
so I'll go through these games. They were played on the 4th and 5th. So our first, E2G versus NL. Our score was 4-1, and our winner was NL with Blobby, who is on R1 for Shell League, by the way. 1-4-1. Obviously, Blobby got the MVP, and no really notes for this game. It wasn't like too close. However, E2G ended up putting up a fight. USA versus EG4L. EG4L won that. With USA losing. EXP versus God. EXP 1-4-1. Good job from both teams. And EXP is actually in the playoffs, and they are going to be
Indeed
one of
they
our
are.
dark horse teams. Is one of my predictions. They're going to make a run. EXP Diaper got the MVP in that game. It is a 4-1 win for EXP. Good job to him and EXP as a whole, and good luck in playoffs. Next, order of business. Do we want to discuss Tide Pre-League?
I
games,
would
or
say,
should
yeah.
we-
I mean, there was
should.
an
I mean,
insane playoff race there.
Yeah, and it's finals. We kind of have to.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 every week, so it'd be weird not to this week.
And it might be the last time we get a chance, too.
It might be the last time.
So sad.
It might be.
Dude, but like I was watching the 3rd place game and Pana, he got MVP, so he's getting the albino,
Yeah.
which will be handed out next week. By the way, don't worry.
I, for some reason,
We'll be
do not have Tide Pre-League server for whatever reason.
Oh, you do. It's okay. But basically, from what I can say, in a nutshell, they were really good games. I mean, the team that won was PSC. Pana played for HDS, and he got 30 some kills. I will have to do the stats and check it out. But it was really impressive from his point. And then Phobia, from what I could tell, Phobia made the decision to let Pana get MVP. And basically what Phobia decided to do was just say, okay, I'm going to let Pana sweat this game, and I'll let him get MVP because I already have the codes that I most likely will receive. So, I mean, from what I could tell, I mean, there were just some great games. And then in Oceania as well, like, all 4 games got played. In EU, all 3 games got played. So, like, we're in a really good spot right now. Thai League in general is just doing really well.
Yeah, that's even better than Shell League right now, where you've had teams going deep into their playoffs and then just forfeiting out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So Tide League is doing at least very well, keeping the top teams to not forfeit and making sure that
For sure,
fight
yeah.
the teams that
And especially with playoffs coming up, we'll see if EXL can keep their title. They were the Season 3 winners, so we'll see if they can come back. They'll have to play Raid this week, so we'll see if they can beat Raid.
Right.
And then, of course, they'll have to play, if they beat Raid, they'll have to play more games. But they're playing Raid in the divisionals. I'll be watching that. I hope you will all, too. All games in the playoffs will be streamed. Hopefully, don't quote me on that, but hopefully they will be.
I'll do my best, guys.
But yeah, it's going to be really good.
I'll do my best to quote you on that, Whale.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in all 4 leagues, I think games were really good. And, you know, I made a note in the staff server. We had 13 games in 24 hours. 13 games to run in 24 hours.
Which is quite a lot for, like, a limited amount of people that were able
That's
to...
more than Shell League.
That's
Exactly.
a lot for Chile.
That is a lot.
and we got,
They have to
I
win
think
every-
10 of them were played games, so only 3 of them were forfeits. That's
Good
even
on our
more
staff.
impressive.
And by the way, that kind of segues into my next topic I wanted to talk about, the game admin positions. Again, our game admins were finally chosen. If you didn't get game admin, I'm sorry. You'll have plenty of chances to either get that position or
Get mod.
other staffs. Specifically, I don't remember all of the game admins we chose off the top of my head. However,
Tricks, Phobia, and
Phobia.
Holdy.
Tricks, Phobia, and
But they're really effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all able to get to basically every single one of our games, and it just really helped out the league. And that's, I think, why we had more of our games played on time, and we were able to achieve that 13 games in 24 hours, which, if you think about it, that's one game, one game less than every 2 hours, which is quite a lot because verification and then, doing all that. And, people sleep for 12 hours. So we were essentially doing 13 games in 12 hours.
For sure,
which
yeah.
is quite a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
12 hours? Holy
Alright.
God, alright.
So what have we...
No, that's just...
We're in the
this
games
TideCast
right
is
now.
just Tide League bragging about how they didn't FF games. Evan,
That's
I want
basically
you to
it.
know something. Literally every single other league outside of Tide League and Shell League has like 80% of their games forfeited. So I honestly couldn't fucking care about if we're bragging or whatever. Sorry, keep it PG. I honestly couldn't care if we're bragging about not forfeiting, because that's something that majority of leagues can't do. Shell League can't seem to get it right. So it's quite a big step for us as a whole, and it's quite a big step for leagues in general. And
There is one thing that I wanted to note. So a lot of people have been DMing me about like what we're doing about the Shell League nuke. We have no intentions of like locking the server or like taking away perms. Tide League is pretty much impenetrable. Like you can't really nuke it from the outside.
Yeah.
Also,
And
also,
we don't hand out perms. The last person that got admin perms was in February of 2021.
that
So
was me.
yeah, that was double.
Congratulations, Double. You're a
So it just goes to show like barely anybody gets admin perms, and
I would
it
just like to point out how much better run Tide League is than Shell League, just like moderation wise and game.
Oh yeah, Lex getting admin within 2 months of him rejoining the server. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's-
That's hilarious.
we would definitely never do that. But
moderators here in Tide League handle things a lot better than those in Shell League.
I know.
Mike, you're a moderator in
I
Shell
have
League. I don't think you
me.
should
I
do
have
that.
me. People break the rules a lot
Nice voice
in
crack there, buddy.
Shell League compared to.
Nice voice crack.
Sorry, I'm eating toast. Compared to, Shell League.
That's the whitest thing I've ever heard. Nice voice crack. Sorry, I'm eating toast.
oh my god, that's good.
Wait,
Kind
yeah.
of expected
A
that.
lot of our moderators do a lot better job than those SL moderators. Totally.
And we're about to gain some moderators. Swift is going to be posting moderator applications later tonight, so expect those. And for the
Congrats
people
to all
that
those
didn't
who
get it
got
last
mod,
time,
And get ready to be abused by all of the admins. because
oh, it's
that's-
okay. We're not. We
and-
don't
and
bite.
judges, right? I can have.
I-
We're a little nosy, and we like to keep dibs on our mods. But anyways, I think we should get to the
we have a fun
topics.
time.
We're gonna have no applications. God.
So there was an update in Shellshockers today, and I knew that this was not going to be the fix of the team's issue because Wiz confirmed it. It's going to be in the mid-month, not any, of these updates. This was just a really needed update because there was a major issue in King of the Coop that needed to be fixed. So luckily that is fixed. I checked. It's all good. King of the Coop is back to being very good. But this means that we have to deal with playoffs being on Capture the Spatula. So reason why it has to be on Capture the Spatula is there's a Teams mode glitch, or I guess in this case it's a bug, where you essentially can't switch teams. So
I'll get into that.
what we've been doing is we've been having our games on Capture the Spatula. Shelly has been doing the same. And what we do is we strategically place the spatula in a known glitch spot, and essentially a quote-unquote illegal position so that people don't attempt to like go up there and grab it. I don't know why you would try because it's ESP for the other team, but basically we are going to have to deal with that. It's not a really
And
major
yeah,
issue, but
there are, so for new to this one, Wizard does know about this glitch, so don't go into his DMs asking him to fix it, because he's on his way to doing that and works hard enough. And also, essentially, this glitch, again, only works on teams. However, if you really are so inclined to run your league on teams, it's still not the worst thing in the world, because you can just have your verification so that all teams and players are in verification VCs at the same time, and like plan it out so that each person comes in one at a time, like alternating for each team to make sure that every single person lines up on the correct team at the start, which is probably the toughest part of the whole process. And then once you have all of your members in, you can easily just finish a round, then both teams like go to the other side without swapping teams. It's that easy. You know what's offside for both.
We can also use the capsule in the spatula mode.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking about that. I was just talking about alternatives to that.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
Also,
Speaking
I
of.
want to point out that I completely destroyed Evan in the chat.
Well done.
Anyways.
Well done.
He told me that I've been offline, and I told him his mom was offline. Got it.
Damn.
You're so funny.
I know.
You got the whole squad that I don't.
But anyways, speaking of playoffs, I mean, everybody knows that there's playoffs this week, and the schedule is getting posted. I promise it will get posted this week, at some point today, probably tomorrow morning. But one thing that people have been like really excited about is the season codes. So I've been like joking around and saying, "Oh, there's a Tide MVP stamp." The rumors that I've created are false. I'm sorry to say there's no Tide MVP stamp.
Yeah, it's incredibly it's literally just a joke.
It's just a joke that we've had for a while. There's renders of it. There's multiple renders of the Tide staff sash as well floating around there. So those are all future things that could eventually be achieved, but I doubt it.
This team's update was fixed, Will.
Well.
Oh, was it really?
It was.
Didn't someone already make a Tide crack shot skin?
Yes, people did,
Possibly.
actually. People made many Tide League skins, and by the way, thank you to the community for that. I love it. Keep going for that, honestly. And if you keep submitting it into Blue Wizard Digital servers suggestions with Tide League stamps and putting the little screenshot, maybe. Just maybe we can get our own stamp or something. That'd be really cool, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that is in the works.
All I'm saying is, did Wiz join back to Shelly?
No. But we have reached out. He's in the staff server, so but he's still has not joined Shell League. But he will eventually. There's a lot for him to do, and
this is not Shellcast. This is TideCast.
I can confirm that the team's update is fixed.
Oh.
Thank you, Blank, for your confirmation.
Thank you for your confirmation of something we had just confirmed.
Thank you.
Yes, awesome.
All right, so yeah, I guess playoffs are going to be a lot easier. But anyways, we've spoken a little bit about playoffs. I think everybody gets a general gist. You know, there's a lot of teams that could eventually, you know, make that drive and win, or there's, you know, a lot of teams that might fall short. But we'll see.
You know, only one
December
team
10th and
can
11th.
win.
But
Only one
anyways,
team can win.
a lot of people. I made an announcement in Tide Pre-League the other day after the Season 2 finals, and I said that we're changing the way that we are running Tide Pre-League, not Tide. And I got a lot of backlash from it. A lot of people said that it isn't really a good idea to change the way that we do things because it could have a really huge backfire effect in the sense that it could turn into another Shell League events server, which just that whole idea just completely backfired. But I think the way that we're planning on running it is going to be a bit better because it's going to be a free-based scrim server. There's going to be promotion all around, and it's going to be for newer players that are wishing to eventually join a team in the actual Tide League. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think there's a lot of updates to be made to the system, but I think the baseline idea is that Tide Pre-League needs to change, and a lot of people are wondering why. The answer is because we need to essentially Basically,
But yeah,
the reasons behind it are the fact that Time League has suffered through seasons where there have been 3+ teams that are just generally inactive and are forced to either 2v2 or literally can't even play at all. So it's not fair to those
Which we don't want
teams.
that. It's not healthy to a league.
Yeah, it's
that.
and Tide Pre-League, while I do love Tide Pre-League and it's doing really well, it barely has any forfeits ever. Those teams should be in Tide League and playing, and I know it's a lot to ask for teams to join and then be expected to play like teams like EXL, but I think it's a need that we need to fulfill, and we need to get these Tide Pre-League teams in Tide League, get them active. And one way to do that is to offer more prizes. So the plan is to have 3 or 4 prizes. So we'll see if that actually is achieved.
Have a
But
good rest of the podcast.
I'll see you, man.
Bye.
But it depends on Wiz, and it depends on really a decent amount of players to step up and start being active.
Yeah, oh my god, Collision finally makes his fucking entrance. Whatever. I'd like to.
Right in time.
on
This
that
is
point,
this was
but
Collision's
like,
idea with the Tide Pre-League new format.
I think a free scrim server will really benefit the community as a whole because they can allow people to again learn how to scrim, which is surprisingly hard these days because not everyone has an access to a Twitch or watches the Shell League Twitch often, and so they don't really get too much access to scrims in general. They can learn how and it allows experienced vets to come in there and free scrim at times, and maybe even take the tutelage of some of the younger players. Like I know, for example, for a while, when I first got into Shell League, or first was being the TL of B-Buck and started getting good, I was basically being not trained, I'd say, but I'd played a lot with fucking Cobb, and he taught me a lot of the stuff that I know now. And the fact that anyone could basically have the access to that through this server really excites me about how well the community could do in the coming days, or in the coming months. Because if you're able to have these experienced veterans like Bella Zuma or a Cat Script who don't play the game as much as they used to, maybe come in and teach someone how they got good or whatever, it could legitimately breed a new, not generation because that's cringe, but a new flood of players that could end up actually benefiting both Shell League and Tide League and leagues all around.
For sure, yeah.
At this point, all leagues are just focusing on increasing our player base as much as we can. And as much as I love being the PR manager of Shell League, I have to say that Tide League's PR is doing way better in terms of getting new players and playing the game.
I mean, yeah, we are almost at 1K.
We're 5 away, I think.
This new scrim event server will just really help because it's focused entirely on Shellshockers and not events doing with Shellshockers. It's focused on the competitive aspect, not as much on the silly games or whatever like special events was. Which damn man, why did you have to fucking remind me about that? I loved pre-league, dude. Oh.
Yeah. But it is what it is, and I'm sure there's gonna be the same sort of backlash about what we're doing to our Pro League, but I think this will be better. There's also been some leaks about possibly having a 5v5 King of the Coop League. This is also something that Shell League was supposed to do with that event server, and that is not in the works, nor will it ever be. But Collision is the one that sort of made the system that we're using in Tide Pre-League. So maybe Collision wants to discuss a bit more.
Pre-League? Alright, so, what I told Whale was basically Whale and Battery summed it up pretty well. It's basically to get new players to get exposed to the whole idea of scrimming. As you know, we have a lot of people from Shell League already who are really good at the game. But the issue is most of the people that are on the top tier or on the higher tier of skill level tend to have played in the league for almost more than a year or 2 years. And this shows like there's a sign of a lack of improvement and new players coming in. Also, I've noticed that like a lot of people have end up leaving the league as a whole. And it comes from like a lack of activity from the league and a lack of action. So I think this is where the importance of this event really shines, in that it like helps people from different skill levels and from different teams to come together and compete with one another and realize that there is actually like a league exists. Because I know some people on like even pubs. This day, pubs have been going. I've been like active for like years and years, but you'll go into a pub right now and people will just be like, "What's a clan?" or "What is Shell League?" And that
Or
shows
they'll
you,
just
like,
be wearing a PLG stamp still from like
there are
7
people
years
with
ago.
PLGs. There are people. That's even more funny. Battery brings it up. There are people with PLG clan stamps or tags, not stamps, with tags, and they don't know anything about the league. And it shows like there's a lack of advertisements for one. So one thing, aside from the Scrim server thing, which is really great, it would be nice moving forward if we had some sort of, I know Tide League staff is really good with the BWD in terms of connections, so it would be really nice to see us expanding in terms of advertisements. And then there was also the Tide League website that we could also revive as well. There are different ways to get people that are actually interested in competitive gameplay in Shellshockers to get them inside.
Yeah, I agree.
There's
For
so
sure,
many
yeah.
people too that are like
Right.
there's like so many good people that aren't aware of this league. And I think first step is to create an environment, and the second step is to create an awareness. So I think we've done the first step right now with Whale and batteries.
Right, and me and Collision both being former or current PR representatives for Shelly. Him on Ronan, obviously myself currently the PR representative following him up. Needless to say, we both think alike in terms of how the future of Shell League should not only look, but how the future of how the future of Shell competitive should look, but what problems it currently has. And one that we've of course always harped on is the rapidly shrinking player base, which is not something that is good. we're just having these players age and age and age and like stay at the top of the mountain, as Collision said, and no one has caught up to challenge them. You know, you have your Luckies, your Slimies, your Yegg, but he got banned, your Peak, right? Like you have all of these players who have stayed at the top of the mountain for 5-6 seasons at this point, and it's not even close, quite frankly. And we think that if we're able to breed scrimmers who are competent and able to compete with these better players, with these older players, then we can increase the player base of the league over time and stop the league from dying as soon as all of the old and like good players kind of quit. Or at least we don't want a big talent drop from generation to generation. We want there to continually be great players playing the game at a high level.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much.
We just want the skill to be consistent, really.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, yeah, a big drop. We don't want a big drop off, but I think that basically sums up that kind of portion. Shall we move on, folks, to our season 5 and our final fish tournament? Well, I think this is a question for you.
So yeah, for those who don't know what the Final Fish tournament is, it's very similar to carton cutoffs. If you don't know what carton cutoffs are, that was the system in which teams wishing to one day get into Pre-League or even Shell League would enter into a tournament. The way that you entered into the tournament was filling out an application form that was normally sent out by...
You're literally cold sick. What do you mean?
But anyways...
That's a joke. That's a joke.
I know.
If your team was selected to play, you would be entered into a bracket with 16 other teams, and that bracket would last for, I think, around 2 or 3 weeks. It's double elimination. And the final, I believe, 4 or 8 teams, depending on how many spots they had in Shell League and Pre-League, would then move on to play in the league itself. So that's something that we did in Pre-League, but in the form of Final Fish. So keeping that sort of like CC or FF vibe going. So Final Fish being, so the reason why it's called carton cutoffs is it's the last chance for teams to get into the league. So like if you think about like an egg carton, it is the cutoff of, you get it. Like Final Fish, the final fish that could possibly get into the Tide League C. because Tide is
Well
is you know, it's ocean themed.
You're
So,
so
yeah.
quirky.
You're so funny.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
clever, what a clever
it
word.
was very well thought of by me. But
Like,
essentially,
English
we
scholar.
had this in Tide Pre League in season 1 before we even started Tide Pre League itself, because there were so many teams that wanted to join in, that we needed to have a whole tournament. And we ended up picking teams, and they moved on to Tide Pre League. And Tide Pre League season 1 went pretty well, until alting started. Who would have thought that even in Tide Pre League season 1, alting was relevant? But that was a whole different story. But yeah, the reason why I said, or asked in this case, why we should bring it back, because of the amount of teams that are wishing to apply for the new season. I've gotten so many DMs about, hey, can my team join? Hey, I just filled out the Tide League team application. Can my team join now? And
Yes.
I've had to just say, we may possibly have room, but for now, just I'll put you on a wait list and put your team down on the Google Doc that we keep of all the
And
teams.
another thing to bring up with cartoon cutoffs, which I know a lot of our more experienced members will ask, is how do we prevent alting in cartoon cutoffs? Good question, because this is coming from someone who had an alt in cartoon cutoffs. So I know a little bit about the subject myself. Yeah, Lost Heartbeat was, and that was a time. Yeah, he was in this server too, actually.
Wow.
Anyways, let's continue. Essentially, what we're going to do to try to prevent alts from coming is we're going to again record every single game. We're going to make sure that players aren't like either going AFK in the server while they're so. Again, players are going to try to obviously like alt in cartoon cutoffs for Shell League, but the people that are going to alt in Final Fish for Tide League are going to be people that are active in Tide League. You're not going to see a Zuma or a CatScript alt in this league because CatScript, one, doesn't play the game, and two, Zuma isn't active in this league. He wouldn't care. So essentially, we're going to be looking for people who change their patterns and how active they are on their mains, or if we see an account that is blatantly suspect and is not able to prove themselves not an alt by both being able to VC consistently and, just not being an alt. Like, you can obviously tell what's an alt and what isn't an alt. And we'll let you go. But if you're blatantly an alt, if you have that, like, alt name, like fucking Heartbeat, that's a pretty alty name. Or, like,
Yeah.
if your name is, like, Sapphire or something, right? Like, those are pretty
Sapphire.
alty names. I can't even lie.
Awesome.
I can't even lie. Those are pretty alty names because they're just so generic.
Checkmate.
Double's exposing himself right now.
Yeah. No,
Flint.
they're
Such a good
they're
point.
Cold
so
Sig.
they're such
Ronin.
generic
Ronin.
names. Ronin.
That was a good name.
They're such
That was
generic
actually
names.
Wex's alt's name before I came in the league. That was crazy.
Oh, that was actually
Did you
Wex's
buy it off
all. I
him?
can
What
confirm.
happened?
Nope, I didn't even know it was his. I just made it like 2 months after he
Really?
got banned.
Fish.
That's lucky.
I got in the league 2 months after it got banned, and people thought I was an alt. I think that's the thing that tripped people. Anyway, continue.
Alright, but yeah. Essentially we're just gonna look for those kinds of accounts, and since it's cartoon cutoffs, we need to be on our highest vigilance. So if you think you suspect an alt is on your team, report him and you won't be penalized. Even if he's played a game for you, we'll try not to penalize you if you're the one exposing the information. However, if you've used multiple games to alt your way through the tournament, essentially, and use these multiple games to try to fucking brute force your way through, then finally, after all these games are done, you report it, then yeah, of course we're gonna fucking there'll be consequences for that. So if you suspect that there is an alt and they have played in more than one game, then we will forfeit all of your games except for the first game that they played. That understood? Yes? Good.
That's
On the
fair.
record? Good.
And yeah, that's
Once-
pretty much.
We don't want to punish you guys. We don't want to punish you guys for making a mistake. What we want to punish
Yeah.
you guys for trying to break the rules.
Yeah, we don't really ban people for alting. Not
Right.
really much anymore, but what we do is basically we'll do a poll in the higher up staff channel,
Nova, we punished you for making fun of a rape victim, but that's
Yeah.
not even the point.
Yeah,
That is not.
that's
insulting.
That's not even the point.
that's
It's
way
fucked up.
different. But yeah,
Yeah.
we have a whole rule book that has a lot of rules, more rules than I can even remember. So that's why I never say to like admins, you need to memorize the rule book because I don't even have it memorized.
Actually, I made most of the new rules in the
Yeah, the new rules,
But-
all the ones that were revamped,
And I still
were
don't
made
have
by
it memorized.
Heartbeat.
Yeah. I have a quick question though for you guys. Are we forever getting rid of 2v2s from this league? Is there a
There's no
I'd love to.
there's
Should be a
no
rule
census on that yet, cause we.
Nope, I'm fucking removing them. They're annoying. People who use 2v2s to
Well,
like.
there you go.
No, I like.
Executive decision.
There you go.
Executive decision, I'm gonna veto anything that anyone else says. 2v2s are annoying. They're bad for the league, and they breed players that just continually abuse the system.
Well, there you go. That's your answer.
You need to stop using the word breed,
Yeah,
man. You used it like 42 times already.
Yeah, I feel like 1v1s are basically like it's like 2v2s are basically an extra person from a 1v1, and that in itself
Gosh, I wonder why 2 minus 1 is just 1. Wait, collision. 1 plus 1 is
Yes,
2.
I was just saying
Way to
that-
state the obvious there.
Collision's actually a math major, in case you guys are wondering.
The lack
There's
of-
no way.
No, the lack
No
of players
fucking
in the
way.
game though, like I was trying to make, I think Barry said this a while ago, or Whale. The lack of players in the game makes it really not very entertaining for people first watching scrims.
Oh
and
yeah, I
that
can
actually
confirm.
discourages people from wanting to join the league.
I went
That's
AFK during an
possibly-
EXL
that
2v2 once.
definitely- Having like 4 people versus 4 people in the league competing with an RPG, like, bro, that
Yeah,
looks
that's hype.
looks
It's hype.
much better. That looks
Yeah.
much better. And I think just
Oh yeah, when you have like an RPG, like get a collat, that shit's hype as fuck. No
Yeah.
cap.
When I'm streaming like 2v2s, I'm like so dead. I like want to die. Like I just want to leave and go to the next game. Like
I
it's
want to
so
die
boring.
anyway, but
For
I want
sure,
to die
yeah.
even more when I fucking watch 2v2s, bro. I swear to
Yeah.
God, that shit makes me want to like gouge my eyes out. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
we've
Hate
seen your
that.
stats. We get it, alright?
So yeah,
Disgusting. I
I
have
mean,
made many rants against teams that 2v2, and if you, by the way, 2v2 commonly, fuck you and fuck your family, as I said last week.
all right, well,
As I said
Hey, PG,
last
PG.
week.
PG. But anyways,
Okay, so
That's my
anyways,
host, by the way.
there's been a question of like what teams are being disbanded, and so I don't have a full answer and I don't have a full list of what teams are going to be disbanded after the season.
Every team except B-Buck.
B-Buck is on the hesitation
Very
list. I don't know, man.
For real?
They've had a few forfeits. Their roster
Have they
kind of
made
looking
one
dry.
game?
We've
I
made
cannot remember them
2.
playing one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We've made
They've
two.
only played 2 games this season out of
Alright.
6, which is not very good. But
For anyone wondering, that's bad.
the question of
Yeah,
should
but
we
we're- By the
allow?
way, we're still like 3-3. By the way, I just want you guys. To know.
Are you actually?
No,
we're
they're.
3-3.
I think they're 2 and something.
No, we're 3-3 because we won 2 games by a forfeit and 1 game where we had more online than the other team, so they just called it a forfeit for them.
That is so dumb.
That's
Oh
true.
my god. Oh my god.
That's what we do
We
though,
went
because we
3-0,
can't
no,
redo them.
So I don't know, man.
But yeah, but there's definitely something that we can do, in the sense that like we can start threatening teams. So,
God.
We have received many
Not
threatening
that
DMs
that
from
way.
WhaleShark in the past 24 hours.
what I mean by that
What?
is threatening them by having sub teams. So I had the idea of having a sub team.
Hale has my family locked in his basement.
It's not like that. It's not that bad. What I'm saying is we'll have sub teams that are ready to take a team that has forfeited more than 2 games during the season and have them ready to take that position. So, you know, like teams like EG4L, if we had a sub team and we were, you know, well into the season or not too well into the season, we would probably replace them. But we gave them more chances than they deserved, and that's probably why EG4L will be either forced to merge, or disbanded. But yeah, I mean,
For sure.
it's been a question that I've been asked, like
Every
what
team
teams
except
are going to
B-Buck.
get disbanded to make room, and I don't know. Like, I don't really know. I don't have a list, but I will ping team leaders and just say, you know, ask them to confirm whether or not they're coming back. If I don't hear from you, it's a default assumption that you're going to return. So there's always a little hesitation with that. But yeah, I think season 5 there's gonna be some changes. It's not gonna look too different from season 3, season 4, but there's gonna be a few changes. We're possibly gonna, like I said, move to better codes, even better codes than what we've already negotiated. So each season we try and up the game even more, trying to keep the same exact codes but add more of them, and try and widen the code support. So currently we receive a lot of codes, and I'm grateful enough for that. And people are always asking like, why can't TideLeague get more codes? And there's no really good answer. It's just because we're still young, believe it or not. Even though we are a year old, we are still young, especially compared to leagues like Shell League. Like, we still have a lot more to do. Shell League was...
Yeah, compared to where Shell League was a year into its creation, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Making good pace, guys.
I mean, like, we're not comparing ourselves to Shell League or anything, but what we're doing is...
You would say we're better.
Basically, like...
By the way, we changed the team so you can switch teams now.
The reason why I say this is because Shell League is the official league. It will always be the official league for competitive Shellshockers, and TideLeague will always just be the shadow, and there's nothing I can do. I'm not gonna say like, oh, TideLeague is more popular, or TideLeague is more relevant. Like, it's clearly not. There's an obvious difference between the two leagues.
There's an obvious. Shell League has just built up a brand over the past couple
But
of
there is the possibility that we could be liked more than Shell League. That is not, that is not, something that is like completely out of this world. Like, that's not like something that people would say, oh, you're stupid for saying that. Like, no, there's definitely people who think that the league is better.
Within the community, we are very much liked, and there are a lot of high-profile players that aren't necessarily the best of friends with Shell League right now, and don't really mind TideLeague. I'm looking at you. You know who?
Like half the EXL roster.
I don't know who.
Actually, they make a good statement there because a lot of the people in Shell League, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a period where a lot of the good players left, not because of the Crackshot update, but more because of the toxicity in Shell League. Because at one point, it was like season 7, season 6-ish, there's like a lot of toxicity going around in Shell League, and that definitely motivated people to not really like have Shell League such high in their priority list, or like what's it called, just for games in general. So I think that's a big aspect of it. There needs to be sort of like a really positive environment that you can play in or compete in. Otherwise, people tend to like sort of lose their interest and begin to like discourage other people from wanting to be in the league too. So that's something that TideLeague is doing a good job as well as right now, is definitely motivating the community to like be more active, which a lot of leagues don't do, as well as Shell League. So I think that this new Tide, getting rid of Tide Pre-League, does a really good job of eradicating the league from inactivity. And
Eradicating.
We eradicated inactivity, and
You sound like Hitler. What?
Okay.
Where did that come from? He said like.
Might need to
he said,
censor that
He
in
said
the final.
eradicated, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Oh my god.
As Barry said, as Hitler said, Levin's from, we need more space for more eggs to for more people in the league to play in.
I'm sorry, I can't take that statement seriously.
So let me so I was saying is that by getting rid of inactivity, we've tried TideLeague Pre-League out. It was a concept that we tried out earlier and it didn't work out for us. So now we're trying the new Final Fish tournament. And hopefully that will bring
Yeah, guys, eradicate all the black eggs, bro.
at a more activity, a more active level right now. Because that's what we're missing out right now. It's just activity, and the good people can come later. But let's see a lot of
For
people
the
right
white
now.
eggs.
I'm cutting that and canceling you on Twitter.
Completely black. That's racist. You can't get completely black with your egg. So I think that's kind of racist.
Oh, that's true.
You can't get. You can only get dark
And
brown,
blue with
but you
it.
can get white.
That's racist.
Speaking of oh, guys, can we wait?
BWD, I swear to God.
Do you know that black eggs make up 33% of the population and 60% of the killing? This
Okay,
mirrors
okay.
real life.
Okay, on
You can
top.
help us by joining the Collision Foundation, which strives to eradicate the black eggs out of the game. And as
Wow.
my weapons realm for the blind
Go
egg.
left, man.
This turned into
Oh, fuck,
quite the
you can't do that, man.
podcast.
This turned
Alright,
into
that's
one
okay,
fucking big.
that-
This turned into
God.
one just large Hitler like circle.
It was just you. It was
Okay,
just you,
buddy.
man. Dude, you turned it into that.
What
We
the
were all just
hell?
showing her, and then you said that Cole sounded like Hitler.
That's
It did.
that's whack.
It really did.
No.
Eradicates
Anyways, getting
them.
back
To
onto
eradicate them. Like, bro,
our
can
train
you not?
tracks.
Holy shit.
But there's been some I mean, I don't even need to say it. It's already been leaked. There's going to be a 1,000 member giveaway. It's going to be when we reach 1,000 members, obviously. That was weird. But basically, just to like sum it all up, it's going to be a massive giveaway. There's going to be an albino. Yes, it's going to be very big. And basically, we're gonna have some perks. So,
Right now.
if you have a specific amount of invites, so like if you have, say, like more than 5 invites, you'll get a special role.
Or if you're an admin.
I was speaking
And it'll give you extra entries into the giveaway itself. So that's gonna be
Oh, hey,
really
Mr.
good.
Kalitler. Kalitler.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
call you Kalitler now. That works, dude.
Dude,
I'm
Warren
like,
disconnected
That is
you
bad.
accidentally. Dude,
Okay.
you kept fucking-
Dude, I was
Coyote. I'm calling Collision Kalitler now.
Don't do that, no.
That's very
Don't
bad.
do that.
You know what's funny though?
Jews.
I'm not even worried.
I know, that's the fucking worst part now.
But yeah,
should calm down.
so the other perks is content creators. Actually, no, sorry, let me rephrase. Content creators are not going to get that because a moderator can just add the content creator role and get more entries. But one of the things that you can do is boost the server, and that gives you a lot more entries. So what we're hoping to do is get a banner and make it like,
Essentially, we've just made this giveaway one big gotcha game that's
Yeah.
entirely pay to win.
basically.
You boost our server. You boost our server for a large amount of time, and you get the albino essentially.
Maybe I'm sorry, but I might have to, pull from Alpha League. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's literally,
I can't.
literally just pay to win. Honestly.
But yeah, we're hoping to basically. I know that this seems really like counterintuitive, but basically we're hoping to gain even more than 1,000 members. So like we're hoping to reach that milestone of 1K, but then get even more. So like just make a massive push and gain like 500 members from this. I've seen it been done. It's currently being done in a server. So if you'd like to join that, I will let you decide on whether or not to join that. It's called Shell Tournaments. It's owned by Agent Adam. I know he's not super liked by the competitive Shellshockers community, but he's a nice guy and he owns a pretty cool service. So if you would like to check
He's
it
a
out,
nice guy.
DM me.
He's a nice guy.
It's almost at 2,000 members. I'm not
respects
saying this
women.
because
He
Adam told me
respects
to.
women.
But anyways,
And he respects women in all the ways, and yet does not have a girlfriend. He's a nice guy. He's
What kind
very
of world do we
respectful.
live in?
but yeah, we're gonna do the
He's a
same.
nice guy.
We're gonna try and make a push for 1.5K because there's a possibility that we could move to Buck Rogers skins. So that could be given out for MVPs.
Eyeball emoji.
And then we can move to possibly having albinos for the winning team. And maybe even albinos of choice. So the people on the team that win get to choose what albino they want, which is that would be
something that
huge.
Shelly doesn't have sometimes.
Warren's like,
Oh my God, Warren, why are you talking? Ew, more than ew. No, that disrupts our happy balance of 4.
what
No,
kind
no.
of
But yeah, I
Stitchy
mean
here too,
that's
you know, right?
it's gonna be really big. We're hoping to gain a
Welcome to
lot of
Shelly.
members, and yeah. But I think that basically sums it up. If anybody has any questions, just put them in general about like anything for me, anything about like the league
Oh, wait.
playoffs,
Can I
anything like that.
Can I say something?
Oh yeah, sure.
Alright, so I'd like to bring something in chat. Can we go to the hashtag please revive Tide League Twitter? I think the best way to do that is to give me the login and password and make a channel for it, and I will post every game.
Wait, we have a Twitter?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You didn't know that?
We have a Twitter?
Well, what?
Ken listening, let's make sure that it was a joke, guys.
It was a joke. It was
No,
a joke.
I'm not joking. We have a Twitter?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I'm not joking.
Twitter.
Nice try.
What?
I
We
think
have a
I'm the only
Twitter
follower.
account?
I actually think I'm the only follower.
Oh, I followed on my alt account on Heartbeat's Twitter. I followed on Heartbeat's Twitter.
Dude, I only thought that we had an
By the way,
Instagram and like a
I don't know.
TikTok.
I don't think you guys know how much work I put into that. I made an entire alternate Twitter so I could link it to my thing, so it would make it look more realistic. So, just a little thing.
Well, that
Proud of
like
you.
just
I think I had like
gives away your alt.
connections on mine.
Yeah, that's just weird.
So yeah, I was thinking, Will, this is obviously not on the list, but just before we start answering questions right now, because I think we're almost done. Do we have any plans with like advertising Tide League and Shellshock?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah,
Essentially, I'm gonna go into negotiating with Wiz about that. If you want to help us out with that collision, that's a discussion for staff, not for.
Yeah, there is a possible meeting in the
There is
works.
possibility that there is in the far out future that either in BWD server or in Shellshockers in general could get a little a little bit of a advertisement in the game, and hopefully, cross my fingers, that could be sooner rather than later. So that's just what I'm working on currently.
Guys, you hear that? We're about to get more. Okay, so this is good then, right? Because this is what we talked about earlier.
I don't know, collision. Is it good? No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's what we were talking about earlier, though.
And
We
more
talked
people
about like
care.
how the final fish. We could bring back a new. I don't want to jinx myself, but we could bring back Tide Pre-League if we get new active players. And I think the fact that lower tier players, I mean, with all due respect, I mean just not like a top 100 player or something like that. I don't know what they call it these days, but if we're not at that level, and there's a good chance that you get disregarded in Shell League, and that's one of the biggest issues that like stunts the growth of players in the league. So I think we need to use Tide Pre-League as a way to like help players grow, so we can like motivate people to like get better at the game as opposed to just like dipping.
And by the way, shout out to my favorite ex-admin of Shell League, Dansik. My man Dansik is working hard to keep the chat active during the podcast. Working very hard. I fucking love you, Dansik. And the fact that you got demoted for saying that Yeg hacked, only for Yeg to be banned later for hacking, is quite hilarious.
Yeah. Also, what do you mean? I've been spamming the same copy pasta for like 8 times now, alright? I've been keeping it very active.
I mean, you also have to remember that I got demoted after doing that too.
Well, that's because you altered.
Well, yeah, that's because you literally altered.
That's literally because
You got demoted by Wex, but here's the thing, Wex is gone, so I don't see why, and we don't have a stream manager right now, so I don't see any reason for you not to come back.
Yeah, he tried to demote. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I'm damn.
That's Shell League drama that we can't get into here in the Tide League podcast.
It's people just want power and stuff, and it's not about helping the league grow. So that's one of the good things about Tide League.
I get my weed from California.
Okay.
One more thing, guys. Before we end this podcast off, I want you to follow all of Tide League's socials. That means the following: YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I want to say we have an Instagram.
We have an Instagram.
We have an Instagram. Okay, I'm up to date then. Tell me if I missed anything. Like if we have some like Steam account for no reason. I have no idea
Do
why.
we have a Steam account? No way, dude. No way.
We need a Steam account. Please donate skins.
Exactly.
Alright, we have an Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook.
We have a
Oh,
Facebook?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook. We have a Facebook.
What do we
Facebook
got
is
a Facebook for?
I
Get
don't
on
know
Facebook.
why.
Yo, I'm gonna
What?
make us a LinkedIn, alright?
Can we create like? Can we?
LinkedIn.
We have.
Okay, that's getting off
Wait,
topic.
what? We have a
Otherwise,
fandom.
I think we're in a good enough place to end.
Why
this
is there a
episode
Tide
off,
League
or
fandom?
At least end the recording. Don't ask. Don't ask. I've seen that. I'm pretty sure there's rule 34 of you. But anyways, let's finish this one off. I am Double Battery here with Collision, Coyote Slicer, Whale, and to the 5 members who have stuck in the audience, that being A, Avatar, Nova, Danzig, my beloved, and Juice the Sidewalk.
My beloved.
Go to bed.
Danzig, my beloved. And to all of those who have stuck around, I thank you very much for staying with this live thing a TideCast. If you enjoyed this episode, especially the Hitler jokes, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, join Tide League server if you haven't already, because why wouldn't you? You'd be such a sussy baka if you didn't. This is Double Battery for the last fucking time with Collision, Coyote, Slicer, and Whale signing off.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
See you guys.
What the?